Imposter syndrome isn't just some little hurdle for health coaches. It is a silent killer of dreams. Imposter syndrome affects 70% of us at one point or another in our careers, but it is especially prominent amongst high achieving women who are perfectionists, who have people pleasing tendencies, AKA most health coaches. If you do not address imposter syndrome, you will never make the healing difference that you want to make and never create the thriving practice that you want. Imposter syndrome is the number one reason most health coaches quit before they are successful. And as a mentor who helps health coaches create multiple six-figure practices, this is something that we absolutely must address in order for them to make that difference and reach that level that they desire. Listen in as my talented client, Jill, a health coach, asked this important question about imposter syndrome and how we tackle it head on, and how you can use these same powerful strategies to break free of imposter syndrome so that you can live into your full potential too. Let's dive in.
Dr. Shaunna, you said hone your skills.
Yes.
At the beginning of this call. So that led me down this path where, shareable moment here, I have horrible imposter syndrome. So in both previous careers, I was a perfectionist and always, double checked everything, made sure that I had everything prepared in advance. So this whole not having all my modules done, organized, sussed out, rethought about is part of my concern. And I really worked hard at always staying ahead. Now, I work with people that have diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
From the beginning, my skill and my background really drives towards supporting them to prevent Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
And so the brain health part of this was extremely important to me. And again, all of this is just pulling together the modules well enough that I feel that I've done everything that I can do to satisfy that person that I'm trying to break away from, that perfectionist, but give the absolute best that I can to my clients. So that one is a really hard piece for me. Any thoughts? I mean, I'm sure other people have gone through this, but I really needed to bring it out today.
So the most important thing to prevent imposter syndrome is, number one, don't be an imposter. So that's the first thing. Don't be an imposter. Make sure that you're working in your zone of genius,
Yeah.
in an area that you have a track record in an area that you love to do, in an area that you feel confident to get results in. And then in module 6, we kind of map out a plan of how to get from point A to point B. So now let me ask you, you have clients now. Have you been able to make any improvement in their life?
Totally.
Okay, tell me some things that you've been able to help people with.
Well, the big one is dropping an A1C from 7.9 down to 7. He told me his doctor was more excited than he was. Plus, his happiness factor was off the charts. His feeling better, his weight loss, it's all happened, and it's all happened in this first month. So,
right. So, and you're just getting started. And you're just getting started. Okay. How important was it that he logged in and looked at a module in order to get that result?
Okay, I guess that's the question I'm kind of asking, is that those modules are there for me to make sure I completely cover everything. I don't want to miss anything. So it's obviously not that he physically gets the module. It's me. It's making sure that I have
100%. And so do you have modules already?
Yep, I do.
Okay, so there you go. So that's great. So you have modules. I will let you know that most of our six-figure health coaches, when they reach six figures, do not have modules. I once had a mentor who said, don't be attached to your data and your tools.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you're going to be giving a speech, and this happened to me right from day one, and I'll share that story just briefly, but I show up, I'm there, I got my slides, I know what I want to say, and the slides don't work. I spent all summer coming up with these slides. And I
Yeah.
had over 100 slides, and people were paying for this talk, $25 or something, but they were paying for this talk. And 2 weeks before, computer crashed, lost everything. And all these people said, oh, don't worry, you can get it back. It's always a copy there. Actually, no, after I ran through all of those. So I had to do them all again from scratch, right? I remembered 88 of the slides. I remembered it. It was so time consuming. Talk about putting in extra hours, but it's important. If it's important to do, then let's do it. If it's not important to do, don't do it. 2 hours before I'm about to go, I'm all dressed and ready, just checking the computer,
Yeah.
gone again. I'm like, OMG, what do I
Yeah.
do now? That was the defining moment. So I could say, we're going to cancel because I don't have my presentation.
Mhm.
I could cancel it. I could call in sick. I could just whatever. I could say I'm too much of a coward to move forward with this, or this doesn't really matter. But it did matter. And I'm like, now this time I kind of had some, after the first crash, I printed out my little teeny tiny slides, on a piece of paper so that if I just needed to do it, I grabbed that, I grabbed my computer, and I'm like, this information is going to save lives. It really is, because I saw it on the front line. Some of you have not seen the diabetics lose their legs, lose their kidneys, lose
Yeah.
their life, lose their eyesight, lose their family. Some of you have not seen the people with strokes. Some of you have not seen what I've seen. And it matters, because if we can get out ahead of it while people are still walking and talking, we can prevent a lot of needless suffering. So it mattered. And so I showed up anyways. And I was prepared to do it no matter what, because I do know a thing or two. Do I know everything? No. But can I help people? Yes. And Jill, you do know a thing or two. Do you know everything? No. Can you help people? Yes. Everybody, just show up,
Yeah.
shine your light, lead with love as best you can. We're all just doing the best we can with where we are, with what we got. But what you have matters. And with all due respect, the certifications are absolutely irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. You know what? I have more certifications and trainings than anything. But for us as health coaches, by the time they get to you, you're not the first person. You're the last person they're coming to. They've already been to the people with all the degrees and certifications. And if they could have fixed it with their degrees, they would have, and you wouldn't be talking to them. Look at Kim. Kim is on the kidney transplant list. She'd been there with the doctors with the gazillion degrees. And who got her off the list? She did. She did. Why? Because it mattered. And how? Simple. Water, stress, clean eating, detox. That's it. Sleep. Love yourself. So you do know enough. It is the basics. The modules are very helpful to keep you on track, to give you some structure, to sort of march time forward so that you can see that you're making progress. So they are helpful. But whether you had them or whether you don't, doesn't matter. Whether you have degrees or certifications, it doesn't matter. And we have proof of that because the people who've come to you have already been to the doctors. And for some reason, they're still not satisfied. And if the one story I heard over and over, a million times over, is like, I went to this and they said, yeah, well, there's nothing more that you can do. Meanwhile, what are they supposed to do with the pain that they have? What are they supposed to do with the tingling they have? What are they supposed to do with that? And they're just like, well, you're not in an urgent situation right now. Bye. And they're left not knowing what to do on a daily basis. This
Yeah.
is where you guys can play a tremendous role. So
Yeah.
just own your zone as you keep a highlight reel, because you're going to get haters and crazy people pop in, but just keep a highlight reel of some of the things that you've been able to do. So when somebody says to me, there's no way, that, this doesn't work. When somebody tries to tell me my process doesn't work, and
Mhm.
I look at, Cleo and Rachel that have made over 500,000. If I look at Connie and Sherry and Martita, and with all due respect, I've got evidence, I've got facts. This does work. Grace just on. So somebody says these 5-day challenges doesn't work, and I'm like, look at Grace.
Yeah.
Does a challenge 5 days. So it does. So you want to keep track of your results that you're getting. Every
Yeah.
tiny little baby thing, just somebody who's able to sleep better is huge. Someone who's able to get energy and improve their A1C, like that's
huge.
Yeah.
You know how many drugs they're throwing at people to try to do that? And you
Yeah,
know how many side effects are coming from that? So
I
you
do.
got the goods here, Jill. And the
Yeah.
one thing that you guys all have as awakened healers is you got heart and you're leading with love and you're 100% committed to your client success. And you're going to do whatever you can to figure it out. And you're always going to work to be better. And do you know everything? No, but each day you're going to continually work to make it better and better. And the one thing you can always promise your clients is you're going to 100% show up for them. So no, you're good. I mean, you're awesome. And just keep remembering your goal is to be 100% committed to them, and you are, and
Yeah.
then deliver results. And how do you deliver results? Because you had a track record. So you already know a thing or two. And as you do it over and over, you become more and more of an expert in this.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Excellent. Good job. Good job, Jill.
So now that we've discussed the importance of imposter syndrome and how we need to get on the other side of it, the best way to address it is to prevent it in the first place. And how do we do that? By working in your zone of genius. So this next video, I dive into how to carve out that expert niche, because when you're working in something that you are an expert at, you're not an imposter. You are authentic. You are shining your light. You are leading with love, and you are delivering the goods. Check it out.